Good evening, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It is Monday review time as I look back at Saturday's game as we travelled to Kenilworth Road to take on league leaders, the runaway train that is Luton Town. 25 games unbeaten now, not lost a league fixture since October. Nobody gave us a prayer, but we were superb, absolutely brilliant, to a man from first whistle to last. And on the back of an excellent performance, we come away with a very creditable 2-2 draw and two really good goals. But us being us and Gills being Gills, despite the really good display and picking up a really positive point, we ended up finishing the game closer to the relegation zone than when we'd started. And that gap is just 2 points now. And the back page of the Medway Messenger's headline is unbelievable, accompanied by an excellent shot of Luke O'Neill. Somewhat incredibly, something that I've never seen in my lifetime watching football, watching the Gills, certainly. 2 points separate pretty much half the division. It's ridiculous. Plymouth in 12th, right down to who occupies... So Plymouth in 12th on 45 points, Bradford 24th, bottom 36, sorry, so it's 9 points separates the bottom half. Walsall occupy the last place of the relegation zone, they're on 42 points, so it's only 2 points separate 12th from 21st. Gills, somewhat incredibly, five places and 2 points off the drop zone. Yet only 4 places and 1 point off the top half of the table. An absolutely ridiculous season. Chances are it's going to go down to the wire. It seems to be that everyone keeps beating everyone. And from that point of view, I think 50 points, I think, will be plenty this season. I know other people think slightly differently and think that you might have to get 52 or more, but I don't. I think 48 could be enough this season. But back to the game itself, really, really good display. Like I say, we were spot on for pretty much all of it, especially first half, where I think that the plan was stay in the game, silence the crowd as much as we could, and after 6 seconds I thought we was in for a long afternoon because they forced Thomas Oley into a save and that was our first touch, Thomas palming a shot round the post. But credit to our boys, we stuck to our guns and we created plenty of chances in both halves, and invariably we should have taken the lead before we went behind, because Brandon Hanlon had 2 decent chances. He also fashioned a chance for himself, which forced the keeper into a stop. And then, unfortunately, Callum Riley made a mistake and ended up flicking the ball, I think inadvertently, back into the danger zone. And fair play to Danny Hilton. It was a great finish because he's had to get there quickly before Big Thomas, and he's managed to flick it round him into the corner. And it was really disappointing because we'd been spot on for 44.5 minutes, and to concede in that way was really frustrating. But credit to Callum Riley. He come out second half, and it was his cross that led to this moment. Go on, Callum Riley. That's a good ball. Yeah! Yeah! Come on! Gills are level! Thomas Eaves with the header. 1-0! That is us going crazy in the away end, as I'm sure were the other 598 Gillingham fans. It was Callum Riley's cross that led to Tom Eaves nodding home his 19th of the season to get us level, his second goal of the campaign against Luton. So once again, the big man proving he can score against the very best in this division. A really good goal. And then from that point on, we took the game to Luton again, and we created more bits and pieces, not always clear-cut chances. But I think if you look at the stats in terms of shots, there wasn't loads in it considering the relative placings of the two sides in the league. Luton had 6 shots on target and 8 off, and we had 5 on and 5 off. So they had 14 shots in total and we had 10. Can't argue with that. Corners was the only thing that was a landslide victory in terms of Luton, but corners don't win your games. They had 9. We only had 1 somewhat surprisingly, but we got plenty of good ball into good areas from open play, didn't we? And we were really bright, soaked up a lot of pressure, which is what you have to do when you go away to a team like Luton. And when we did get the ball, we used it really well for the most part and created some good chances. We then got caught by a sucker punch at 1-1, allowing them to take the lead again. Seemed that they was targeting Barry Fuller in our left back area, and he got left a bit isolated. And I think Thomas Holy can probably do a little bit better for the goal. I think in his defence, Similarly to the way that Callum Riley, I think it's a reflex, and he's trying to get something on the ball that's inadvertently played it into the path of Hilton in the first half. I think Thomas is trying to anticipate across the 6-yard box, and maybe the lad Jack Stacey does him with the eyes a little bit, and he clips it in at the near post, and from there you maybe thought if he was a neutral that Luton would go from strength to strength and go on and win it, and they did have a goal disallowed at 1-0, but rightly so, it was offside. But credit our boys again, we stuck to our guns. We kept trying to play the right way. We kept getting the ball into good areas. And then a foul on Mark Byrne about 25 yards out with 11 minutes to go led to this. Big chance for Gills here. Free kick, what, 25 yards out, just a little inside there. Who hits it for you? Luke O'Neill or Graham Burke? They're both over it.
It's got to be O'Neill, isn't it?
I'm not sure that we can come in this way, so Burke might be able to just start it out and just drift it away from the keeper. I don't care, as long as it goes in. Come on, Graham or Luke. It might be Luke, he's having a proper look.
Top bins.
Deserves a goal. Deserves a goal.
We deserve a goal, we don't deserve to be behind.
Nah.
Come on, Luke. Come on, Luke. Come on! We level again! An absolute beat to the right back! What a goal! I can't stop watching it. I've watched the free kick that Stocky was filming for the Instagram page. He filmed the actual footage of the goal itself. I was filming our reaction, and we all know what happened. Absolutely delicious free kick from Luke O'Neill into the top corner. James Shea had absolutely no chance. 2-2. Brilliant to have them celebrating right in front of us, the players. Max Amar's celebration was brilliant. If you catch the shot on the match day live or that we've just shown, comes screaming across the screen, jumps up in the air, big fist clench, fist bump into no man's land, and ends up sort of 10 foot to the left of everybody else before joining his teammates again. But that's great. That raw emotion and that raw passion is what we're in this for, and what we go to watch games for, and what we play games for at whatever level. And I had a person reply to me on Twitter today and said, excellent goal and excellent commentary for the game. And I thanked him and said, well, that's what we try to do. This is the purpose of our match day vlogs. We're trying to bring the emotion and the raw passion of the games to your screens, whether you're watching it on a TV or on a tablet or on a phone or a laptop or whatever. That's what we're trying to do. And if we can do that, then I think we're doing what we're meant to do. And we love putting them together, and days like Saturday are what we live for. A brilliant performance, like I say, no one gave us a chance, and it was a really creditable point. And yeah, just to do what we normally do, match report from Luke Cordell, his final paragraph or so. Gills might not have the consistency to challenge at the top of the table, but on Saturday's evidence there was enough to suggest they will get the job done and avoid relegation. 2 wins from their last 8 shouldn't be beyond them. Assuming 50 points will be enough, but there's sure to be some more highs and lows before the season concludes. Don't disagree with any of that. I think there's enough about us in this squad, especially if we play to the levels that we did on Saturday, that we'll get sufficient points to be relatively comfortable. I've said before on this video, I did a league predictor about 4 games ago, and I had us finishing on 56 points. And in terms of the games that have played since then, I don't think we're far off that target. I had us to lose at Luton, so that's a bonus point. I think I had us to beat Bristol Rovers, so that's the one where we're slightly down. And I think I had us to beat Scunthorpe and beat Fleetwood and draw with Wickham. So in terms of the Wickham and Fleetwood games, I just got it the wrong way round, and we beat Scunthorpe. So I think we're only 1 or 2 points out of what I've predicted so far. But yeah, in terms of going down, I don't think there's any issue at all. I think we'll be absolutely fine. And lastly, in the paper from Luke Cordell, match ratings compared to ours. I'll be honest, I thought Luke was a little bit harsh with these. Right, I'll do his first and then ours. Thomas Holy 6, 6.5. Luke O'Neill 8, 8.5. Max Amar 7, 7.5. Conor Ogilvie 7, 7.5. Barry Fuller 6, 7. Mark Byrne we both gave 8. And then Luke gave Leonardo da Silva Lopez, Graham Burke and Callum Riley all 6s. We gave out 3 7s. He gave Brandon Hanlon a 6, we did 7, and Eves 7, and we gave 7.5, and none of us gave a rating for Josh Rees because he only played 3 minutes. But yeah, I think Luke's been a bit harsh, I won't lie. 5 6s in a performance where we've come from behind twice against a team that's going up automatically. Make no bones about that. I can't see them dropping into the playoffs. They've got too much about them. They've got too much quality. You only have to look at their starting 11 at the weekend, and you've got people like George Moncur not getting on, George Thorne not getting on, Alex Baptiste not getting on. These are players that have played in the Championship, that have played in the Premier League, and they can't get in Luton starting 11. Lua, the lad that come on 10 minutes to go, absolutely ridiculous pace. I mean, he makes Elliot List look like he's jogging, and Elliot List, we know how rapid he is. So they've got an excellent squad. They're top for a reason. I'm pretty confident they'll go up in first or second. But if I was to have a spare fiver and predict anything, I would have a bet on them actually going up as champions still. But yeah, credit to our boys. That was the task was massive. We know that. We spoke about that before the game. We spoke about that on Thursday on the match preview. So credit all the boys that were involved. And yeah, one in particular I'm going to do a little in focus on is this man coming up on your screen. I think it's fair to say that Luke O'Neill has not been at his best this season. He's had good games. He's had some very bad games. But in terms of consistency, I don't think he's been anywhere near the levels that he was during 2017-18, his debut campaign for us. But I still think he's a very decent right back at this level. And Saturday was his 4th goal of the season, and I don't think any of them have been tap-ins. If we go right back to August, whipped free kick at home to Burton, first home game of the season, was absolutely brilliant. I think he scored a long-range effort left-footed against Plymouth in a 3-1 defeat, and have a really good strike. An excellent free kick in the cup replay win up at Hartlepool that we won 4-3. And then Saturday, probably the best of the lot in terms of the context of who it was against, the fact that we were behind, the fact that it was blowing a gale. The way he's actually gone against the wind, I think, slightly. So for me, his best goal for us, his best goal of the season, his best performance for us this season by a distance. I thought he was man of the match. I think we said him and then Mark Byrne were our top 2, and then you had quite a few in behind that were solid. There was no one that had a bad game. But yeah, it's great to see Luke getting a run of games, getting some consistency back into his performances, and obviously helping us out with scoring the equaliser as well. I said last season I didn't think there was a better right back in the league than him at his best. He struggled this season. I think we all said at the start of the campaign that Barry Fuller was going to come in and be back up to Luke, but it turned out that he nicked his place in the side for a while, and maybe that did affect Mr O'Neill's confidence and his performances. But he's knuckled down like any good professional. He's got himself back in the side now because Barry Fuller's playing at left back, with Conor Ogilvie tucking inside due to the absence of Gabriel Zaquani. And I think since he's come back into the side, we've looked solid defensively, and he's looked a lot more solid as an individual. But on top of the goal and the defensive side of his game Saturday, he got numerous good delivery into the box. I can think of 2 straight away that Brandon Allen perhaps should have done better with. One where he didn't connect with a volley, one where he headed wide from 8 yards. There was more that sort of bypassed everyone, but they were really good into that dangerous area, that corridor of uncertainty where the keeper's not sure whether to come and get it, and the centre half certainly doesn't want to turn around and try and play towards his own goal because of fear of sticking at his own net. So if we can keep that Luke O'Neill going for the next 8 games, we'll be absolutely fine, much in the same way that if that back 4-5 keep performing to the same levels, again, we'll be absolutely fine in terms of beating the drop. Myself, Boz and Stocky spoke about it coming out of the ground and said it's one of our favourite away days. I mean, myself and Boz did Pompey this season, and we were excellent because we went there and Pompey were unbeaten at home and top of the league at the time, but it was a different type of performance. We took the lead and then we saw it out, and we've generally been decent when scoring the first goal under Steve Lovell, but not so great when we have to chase games. So a big fillip in the hat of all of them, Steve Lovell, the coaching staff and all the boys, because to come from behind once against a side like Luton is a massive ask. To do it twice is pretty incredible. And we did it, and we did it with some more as well. And we could have won the game. We created plenty of good chances. I think if you was a Luton fan, you'd have probably said if we pinched it 3-0 that it was harsh on them because they had a bit more of the ball than us. But not once did we shy away from the task in hand, and not once did we shirk our responsibility, and we got just reward. So if we can take that into the final 8 fixtures, we'll be absolutely fine. And hopefully, in terms of Luke O'Neill, he's back to his best and it stays that way, and we get these consistent performances out of him. between now and the end of the season, and then obviously next campaign as well, because he is a very good fullback. Right, that's pretty much everything in terms of Saturday. There's a little bit about Nasty Lopez, takes advice on board. Steve Lovell talking about he just wanted him to do the dirty side of the game a bit more after taking him out to starting 11 for last Tuesday's defeat at home to Bristol Rovers, and I thought Leo come back in and was absolutely superb. He didn't see a lot of the ball first half, but defensively and without possession he was good. He was diligent in his defensive duty, and then he grew into the game, and when he got it he used it really well. And in terms of Brandon Hanlon, another one who was exceptional for me, I thought he was really good. The only thing lacking was a goal, and Steve Lovell says the same. He said with the balls that Luke O'Neill was putting into the box first half, I was thinking I would love to be out there myself to get on the end of them. Brandon got on the end of them a couple of times first half, but didn't get across the keeper, and he didn't quite connect, one with a volley and another with a header. Then he created himself a chance for himself and bent it at the keeper's near post when he should have gone far. He was a tremendous game for him. I thought he played really well. He battled well and he won things, and he just needed that goal. That would have been the icing on the cake. It was another really good display from the young man. And I've said it once and I'll say it again, I don't get people who just want to mindlessly slag him off. It's a kid who's playing his first season at this level, and he's got 5 goals and 6 assists to his name, and I think he's been generally very, very good, pretty consistent, and he's only going to go and get better and better. There is a small game tomorrow night. I will not be attending myself, and neither will Boz, but I believe Stocky is going over to the Gallagher Stadium to watch us take on our friends Maidstone United. Currently 13 points from safety in the National League with 8 games to go. But yeah, we take them on in a Regional Cup semi-final, and Steve Lovell said that he will put out a strong side. The likes of Regan Charles Cook, Josh Reese, Elliot List and Billy King are all set to feature. I would imagine that Tarvon Campbell might get a start. I don't know whether Alex Lacey will be fit to play. Maybe Dean Parrott, Darren Oldacre will probably get some minutes. And then you might see a few of the youngsters like Aaron Simpson and maybe Jack Tucker. I'm not sure, maybe Henry Woods, Roman Campbell, if the terms of their loan deals allow. But yeah, it should be an interesting game. It is a local derby, and fingers crossed we can get a result. And Stocky, I think they said he's going to do a match day live if he does go over to Maidstone to watch the game. I shall be back Thursday with Boz for a look back at Maidstone and a look ahead to another massive game in Sky Bet League One on Saturday when we travel to AFC Wimbledon, who are currently 3rd bottom in League One, have picked up form recently under Wally Downs and now sit only 3 points from safety. Remarkable turnaround. Won't be an easy game, but I will talk about that in more depth with Boz on Thursday evening. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for retweeting. If you've not seen it yet, go and have a look at the Match Day Live. It is one of our favourites. Keep telling everyone about us, keep commenting down below, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you know the drill. And until next time, up the Jewels.